What if the very thing killing a lake could also be its salvation? In the Netherlands, they didn't just clean up a dying lake. They built an entire new archipelago from its own mud. This is the story of the Marker Wadden. The modern Markermeer exists because of two colossal feats of Dutch engineering. In 1932, the Afsluitdijk spanned 32 kilometers, sealing off the Zuiderzee from the North Sea. This was a direct response to devastating floods and a bold move to protect people and reclaim land for farming. Decades later, the Houtdijk stretched another 27 kilometers, dividing the vast IJsselmeer and carving out the Markermeer as its own freshwater basin. Each dike was celebrated as a triumph of human ingenuity, keeping water at bay, creating new land, and providing a sense of safety. But with each barrier, the lake grew more isolated, as its natural connections to the sea and to rivers were slowly cut away. Inside the sealed Markermeer, the consequences of isolation grew impossible to ignore. Silt poured in from rivers and runoff, settling year after year, until a dense layer nearly a meter thick blanketed the lakebed. Water that once ran clear turned cloudy. Secchi disk readings dropped from over 4 meters to barely 1.5 meters. Sunlight struggled to reach the bottom, choking out aquatic plants and silencing the food web. Each summer, oxygen levels in the deeper layers plummeted below 2 milligrams per liter, leaving fish gasping and lifeless zones expanding. Ecologists sounded alarms as algal blooms multiplied, pushing the ecosystem closer to collapse. The numbers painted a stark picture: a lake transformed from vibrant habitat to ecological desert, its decline measured in meters of mud and vanishing clarity. A new kind of alliance formed in the shadow of the Markermeer's decline. Rijkswaterstaat, the Dutch water authority, joined forces with Natuurmonumenten, a leading conservation group, and Boskalis, one of the world's top dredging contractors. Their shared vision was to turn the lake's suffocating mud into the foundation for life. The numbers told a clear story. Conventional dredge and dump would have cost 1.8 billion euros, draining budgets and offering little hope for real recovery. The coalition's alternative, using the lake's own sediment to build a chain of living islands, would cut that figure to 850 million euros. In 2015, the partners signed a formal memorandum of understanding, spelling out not just ambitions, but how risk and responsibility would be divided. Rijkswaterstaat covered nearly half the financial risk. Natuurmonumenten and Boskalis took the rest, anchoring the project in shared commitment. This wasn't just a technical fix, but a leap in thinking, engineering that collaborates with nature, not just conquers it. Massive cutter suction dredgers, guided by satellite precision, began the work of moving the Markermeer's own silt, 3.2 million cubic meters in total. Each load of mud was pumped through floating pipelines, then carefully layered onto the lakebed. The process was anything but simple. Soft sediment wants to slump and spread, not stack. Engineers from Boskalis and Arcadis devised a 3-part recipe. First, a dense silt base was shaped into gentle slopes. Next, a sand-clay mixture reinforced the core, locking the islands in place against waves and wind. Finally, a surface layer of wetland soil and native seeds was spread, ready to capture the first roots. Throughout construction, a web of sensors tracked settlement and stability in real time, feeding data back to control rooms on shore. From 2016 to 2022, the islands rose layer by layer, transforming unstable mud into solid ground, ready for life to return. The Marker Wadden archipelago was never meant to be just a cluster of islands. It was conceived as a living mosaic, each part crafted to serve a distinct ecological purpose. Designers and ecologists worked side by side, drawing up blueprints that translated habitat science into landforms. The result is a complex patchwork. Broad mudflats slope gently into the water, offering rich feeding grounds for waders. Shoals and shallow bays, engineered at varying depths, become nurseries for spawning fish and havens for aquatic insects. Marsh strips, woven from wetland soils and seeded with reeds, act as natural filters, pulling nutrients from the water and anchoring loose sediment. Higher ridges built above the reach of most waves provide dry, safe nesting sites for rare birds. Every contour and elevation was chosen for a reason. Some zones lie just centimeters above the lake's surface. Others rise to form protective terraces. This deliberate zoning echoes the shifting habitats of natural river deltas, but here each transition was planned to maximize biodiversity. The island's layout, with gradients from open water to marsh to upland, sets the stage for a rapid return of life, connecting engineering precision with the rhythms of nature. Within months of the first island rising from the mud, life returned in force. That spring, Natura Monumental field teams counted more than 1,800 breeding pairs across the new archipelago, twice what even the most optimistic models had forecast. Common terns and oyster catchers nested on bare ridges, while marsh harriers circled over fresh reed beds. The air filled with the sound of black-headed gulls, their colonies crowding the higher ground. By the end of the first season, 19 bird species were breeding on the islands, up from just 12 before construction. The water told its own story. Secchi disc readings, once stuck at a murky 1.2 meters, soared to 3.5 meters near the islands, a leap that field ecologists described as beyond anything we dared hope for. Oxygen levels in the deeper layers rose by 15%, and fish schools began to gather in the sheltered shallows. Underwater, new plant growth anchored the sediment and filtered the water, turning stagnant zones into nurseries for invertebrates and young fish. Every survey, every data point, pointed to the same conclusion. The Marker Wadden had become living proof that engineering with nature can spark an ecological revival. The numbers on the charts now matched the flocks in the sky and the clarity in the water. A problem turned into paradise, measured in feathers, roots, and light. A dead lake became a living archipelago, proof that our greatest mistakes can seed new hope. As climate threats rise, building with nature isn't just possible, it is essential. What challenge is next?